Hi everyone. So this week I'm not sharing the bullish chart, so I thought I'll make a video on all the sectors and how those charts are looking like, right? So let's start with the Nifty first. So Nifty, it is well above the 30 WMA line. That means we are still in an uptrend, right? But the recent candle that you see here, right? So this one, after a gap down, we have closed and we have kind of ended at the lowest point of the day. So that means there is some selling pressure that is still there. Probably Monday we might go even lower. So the supports for this would be, so if I have to just draw a few support lines, right? So here would be the first support which the Nifty can take around 24,400, right? So if that is also broken, chances are we might head a little lower, probably let's say somewhere around these levels is where that is almost a 800 points down, that is at 23,500, right? In case the that is panic continues. Okay, so this is about the Nifty. Now let's move on to Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty is clearly showing signs of weakness because as you can see it has started making a lower high and then kind of reversing from there, and it has also come in this parallel channel again. So chances are we might see that it can even go lower from these levels because this whole global financial thing that is happening, that will affect the banks, right? So in case the panic continues in the global markets, banks may kind of fall even further down, is what I feel. So in case, let's say we start reversing, so the supports for Bank Nifty is this one, the last one where we kind of ended. So let's say 5900, that is where the first support would be. If that is also broken, probably we might go even lower, let's say 49,500. That is where the next support for Bank Nifty would be, right? So this would be for the Bank Nifty analysis, right? So let's look at the mid caps. So the mid caps actually kind of took support around this level, right? And it has kind of made a doji. So dojis are neutral candlesticks. The long term trend still remains up because we are still above the 30 WMA line. But in case this is broken, there might be more selling pressure and we may kind of, let's say here there might be some support around these levels. In case that is also broken, we go up to these levels, that is 55,800. So this is for the mid caps. Now moving on to the small cap index. So the small caps, see here there is no much support, to be honest. The real support is somewhere around these levels, I would say, right? So around 18,330, that is probably 2-3% lower from the current levels. So that is where the support is. But again, even this index is still above the 30 WMA line. We are still very much in an uptrend, right? So all the four indices that we saw, Nifty, Bank Nifty, mid caps, small caps, all are still in an uptrend. Now let's move on to the metals. So metals have been showing a lot of pain, to be honest. So because most of them are, let's say, very close to the highs, this one has corrected close to almost 7-8% from the tops, right? So even here, because if there is global financial crisis, metals would be the first to be killed because commodities, they start cooling off rapidly. Because if economic growth is not there, how do you expect commodities to increase, right? So in case the 30 WM line, it is very coming very close to that. In case that is broken, we enter a correction in the metal segment, right? So that is about the metals. Auto index. So everyone was gung-ho about the sales and all of that, but the last 2 days, big selling coming in. If you look at the candles also, huge candles, red ones, it is around, let's say, some kind of a support. The major support should come in, I would say, around 25,000, right? In case that is also broken, then probably around here, right, 24,000. So every 1,000 points maybe there would be some kind of a support for the auto index, right? But since it is still above the 30 WMA line, I would say it is still in an uptrend. Now coming to the FMCG. FMCG had a crazy run. It kind of made a cup and handle also and have broken out, right? So if you look at 52,700 and 58,000, that is almost, let's say, 5,000 points. So that 5,000 points, see, it has already kind of covered that and hit the target. So the cup and handle, the height of the cup would be the target that is already hit, right? So chances are it can cool off. If it does and starts coming very close to this, I doubt that will happen, because what happens once there is a global panic, usually money starts moving into defensive sector. So when I say defensive, FMCG, pharma, those are the ones people would want to go to from, let's say, commodities and things like that. All right. So Nifty FMCG might see some buying coming in also. That was also, let's say, 0.67% down compared to the others, which were down like 1%. Metal index was down 2.7%. Auto index was down 3%. Right. So this was down only 0.69%. Now moving on to IT. So IT will definitely be affected. Why? Because if global economy cools off, these IT stocks which are getting new projects and all of that will kind of cool off, right? So the major support for IT index would be, let's say, some 800 points away, that is around 38,500. In case that is broken, you would see more pressure coming in for the IT index. Moving on to the energy segment. So here it is very close to the all-time high levels, right? So kind of Trump coming back, if people feel that Trump is going to come back, it is good for the energy stocks, but that is in the US markets. Not really sure about whether that is going to help the Indian energy stocks. But then the Indian energy index is kind of trading very close to the all-time high. In case if it cools down and starts to reverse from, let's say, 2% from here around 43 to 60, then we might see again a pretty decent bounce from those levels. Then comes the real estate sector. Here definitely there is a lot of pain, right? So it is making a lower high, lower low, and it has broken the major support that was there here around 1044 levels, right? So in that case, if it comes very close to the 30 WMA line and starts breaking it, then you would know that even the real estate sector has kind of entered bear territory. Now coming to pharma. Pharma continues to be in a beautiful uptrend above the 30 WMA line and hitting an all-time high on the day when all the indices were cracking big time, right? So that is about the pharma index. Now coming to infra. Infra still is in an uptrend, right? Here also I don't see much pain. The next support would be, let's say, somewhere around these levels, 9,090 thereabout. We should see some support coming in case that is also taken out, 88,863. So that is about the infra. Media, see, there are hardly few stocks that are kind of there in this. I would not really pay much attention to that. The consumption story continues to be good. Here we had a pretty solid run up, right? In case there is a correction, probably, so there is no real major support around those levels. I would say the major support would be around 11 to 70, right? So then the oil segment, this also is still in an uptrend. Here the real support would come in around 12,430, right? So next comes the healthcare. See, again, healthcare hit all-time high on a day when everything was cracking. So that means this is where the money is moving. Like I told you, right? FMCG, pharma, healthcare, that is where the money starts moving in. Then even the consumer durables, here the support is very close, let's say hardly a percent away from the current levels. See, majority of them are still in an uptrend because they're still above the 30 WMA line, making higher high, higher low, except for something like real estate, which is coming very close to the 30 WMA line. In case that is broken, then you'll start seeing a lot of pain. Even the PSE stock index, it is up, right? Even if you look at the PSU banks, okay, PSU banks is where the pain is right now. All right. So if you look at it, very close to the 30 WMA line, in case it is broken, right? In case, let's say we close below the 30 WMA line and start making lower high, lower low, then you would know that the PSU bank rally is done with. You would want to get out of the PSU bank stocks. That is where the major pain would be. Okay. So I would say here it has kind of maybe next support around these levels. Multiple supports it has around these levels. If those are broken, if let's say 6,600 is broken, right, with a big volume thing, then you would know for sure that this game is over, because this is a beautiful distribution pattern that is happening, and in case it breaks the 30 WMA also, you would know for sure that the PSU bank rally is done, right? So these are the indices. If you look at the what I feel will happen on Monday, I'm not taking any new trades because there would be panic. And when you take a trade on the panic day, where do you set your stop loss? Because the swings would be crazy. So I would suggest wait for the panic to kind of settle in, wait for the data to kind of guide you. And once the momentum starts picking up, that is when you would want to trade. Right? Hope this helps in kind of being patient for a while and then start taking trades when the things start looking up, right? Thank you.